Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Wreck-It Ralph. It's about the titular character, Wreck-It Ralph, who has been a bad guy in the game Fix-It Felix Jr. for the past 30 years. And on the 30th anniversary of the game, and everyone in the game is celebrating and having a big party, he's gotten sick of being the bad guy and kind of underappreciated, and really would like to win a medal like Fix-It Felix does at the end of every game. But he doesn't, because he's the bad guy in Fix-It Felix Jr., which is kind of a Donkey Kong / Rampage hybrid. So he tries to go to other games to win a medal of his own, wants to know what it feels like to be a hero rather than a villain, and he game jumps into various games causing all sorts of mischief, while Fix-It Felix Jr. tries to find him in Hero's Duty and Sugar Rush. So Ralph can be a hero, and Fix-It Felix needs to get him back so that their game isn't unplugged forever and taken away. I mean, I guess we've all seen the advertisements and the posters, and they're very heavy on video game nostalgia and all these characters of video games we all grew up on. A lot of people, I think, have compared this, without seeing it, of course, and myself as well, compared it to like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Toy Story. It's really not as heavy on nostalgia as either of those two films, although Sonic and M. Bison and Q*bert and all these characters are in the film in the background. The main games they go to are original games. You know, it's not like in Toy Story where Slinky Dog is a real character. Sonic the Hedgehog isn't really a character. The biggest character who is a licensed property already is probably Q*bert, and I don't think Q*bert has that big of a mass appeal. I mean, maybe with me, but I don't think for kids don't really know who Q*bert is. But as a big corporate animated kids movie, and I've seen quite a few of them, it's actually probably the best one I've seen this year. Most of them are trying to be Pixar and trying to be Disney. I know this is a Disney film, but they're usually failures at that format. This is a really great attempt at that format. Someone said on Twitter, I forget who it was, but it's very true, that this is the year where Pixar made a Disney movie and Disney made a Pixar movie. There's real moments where it really tugged at my heartstrings. I was surprised how emotional I got at some of these moments, that in most of the animated films I saw this year, they didn't really grab me. They felt false. They understood the theory, but they didn't understand the execution, and I think Wreck-It Ralph is the film that they're taking all that format and what people think an animated film should be in 2012, and they're actually doing it really well. The director of this film, Rich Moore, is a veteran animation director. He directed a lot of great Simpsons episodes, Lisa's Substitute, the Itchy and Scratchy movie, Marge vs. the Monorail, The Front, Cape Fear, and he also worked on The Critic as well. This isn't the kind of animated films for people who don't really like cartoons, because it is very cartoony, especially the video game characters they're using in this film. John C. Reilly's perfect as Wreck-It Ralph. You know, he's always kind of been, you know, this big oaf kind of character who's always uncomfortable in his skin and is shy and doesn't really know his place in the world, and he fits perfectly. Sarah Silverman, I really thought she was kind of doing what Kristen Schaal does. Kind of don't understand why they couldn't have just gotten her, but I thought she was still very good. The other thing about a lot of these films, it's trying to portray these kind of outsiders of society and how they don't really fit in. If you look at like Paranorman or Frankenweenie or Hotel Transylvania, The Lorax, what have you, they all try to portray these different, you know, characters who don't fit into the world. And most of the time, I never really feel like the writers and the directors really get that or even understand that kind of a character. Much like in a film from Denmark I saw earlier this year, Teddy Bear, Wreck-It Ralph like just doesn't physically look like he fits in to this world compared to everyone else. You know, all the bad guys look kind of, when they're in the bad guy support group, look very big and large, like they don't fit in with everybody. And visually that was interesting because they're mostly in the game Sugar Rush for the majority of the film, and he looks like so much bigger than everybody. Like he's just not, you know, a part of what they're a part of, you know, because visually he's so much grander and bigger, and that fits in with, you know, John C. Reilly's voice. I guess I was surprised at how I really loved this cartoon. I really got into it, and I really like felt for Wreck-It Ralph, and I thought emotionally actually this film works a lot better than most kids animated films try to. I mean, I think they pretend they do. It's not an amazing plot structure, it's a very mainstream plot structure. You have these references to like Turbo and this villain and that video game, and then at the end it all came together like a unique little puzzle they put with the audience, and if you really pay attention to everything, it really pays off for you. It makes you as an audience member that much more invested. There's a lot of cool video game jokes. It even has the Walt Disney logo in like a video game format, which reminded me a lot of Scott Pilgrim. Even like they somewhat move like video game characters. It seems to always be aware to the people who are making this movie that they're making a movie about video games. You know, that was never a second thought to them. And there's even times when they go to Topper's Bar you know, like the video game Topper, they all go there when, you know, the arcade's closed, and they go there and then they show what the screen looks like if you were, you know, suddenly in that arcade and you see all the characters in kind of a video game format. You get to see, you know, from their perspective and the gamer's perspective. And it's definitely about video games, but I don't think it's as referential as maybe the advertising is leading you to believe. However, if you're gonna see a big budget, huge kids movie this year, this is probably the one I found the most enjoyable. So if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.